Your body needs stress to grow. It has to have it. It's a required thing in life to grow. I think it's the catalyst. That is the catalyst to growth. Hype or legit? Game changing or garbage?
This is What's Hot and What's Not, where we put today's biggest self-help trends under the microscope.
All right, let's break this one down. All right, girl, you ready for hot or not? I'm ready. I'm pumped. Hot or not?
All right, what's hot and what's not?
Cold plunging.
Ooh.
A Gary Brecka special.
Yeah. My personal opinion is not hot. Don't like it. Not my favorite.
So
I don't have science to back it up, though, so this is just my own personal opinion, but you probably have some actual science for us.
So it's really interesting. So I've always been in the mindset that cold is for joints and heat is for muscles. So if the muscle group is injured, we want to increase blood flow to increase nutrient density to increase the capability of repairing. Tendons and ligaments in the joint swell when they're injured or have micro tears in them that rub on the groove of the bone that causes pain.
Okay.
So in order to reduce pain, we need to reduce inflammation, i.e. cold, right? So
Sure.
If you injure your elbow, put some fucking ice on that, dude. It reduces the inflammation. Pain goes away. Boom.
Okay.
So I looked into the health benefits of cold plunging, and I'm going to rattle these off real quick, and then we're going to dig into some that I think are absolutely stupid. Improves mood.
Okay.
Increases stress resilience, increases mental clarity, it reduces DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness, it decreases inflammation, increases recovery, increases circulation, and increases white blood cell count. All right, so you have to ask the question, why? Why does it do that?
Well, I think some of the first couple ones, like mental resilience and stress, like that's just from doing something hard.
I agree. So what happens when you are in a intense situation? Time slows down, right? Why?
It forces you to be present.
Exactly. You are just forcing your system to say, whatever's happening tomorrow doesn't fucking matter anymore. Whatever happens next minute doesn't happen anymore. Right now, I'm worried about dying. The system says, holy shit, what is going on? It's 26-degree water or whatever the hell they're diving in, and I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
You have to beat the fight or flight system and sit in the shit and the pain, and your body cannot and will not take the mental toll and energy expenditure to think about tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you become very present. So they say that is clarity. No. That is being very present. That is like hyper yoga stance. Very present.
Yeah.
Forced individual clarity.
Right.
I think that's okay. I don't think that's a bad thing. Increases stress resilience. You're just getting really good at doing hard shit.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I think that at the end of the day, if you are presented with very little stress in your life, it's a good idea to do things that stress you out.
Sure.
Decreases DOMS, maybe. Inflammation in the joints, yes. 100%. I think that's kind of beneficial. I don't think the goal is to be without inflammation altogether. Some of it's good. There's a reason our body gets inflamed.
It means it's healing.
It's sending more blood and nutrients to the area to heal it. Increases circulation. It constricts it up front. You're battling hypothermia. Hypothermia happens because your body says it is too costly to send the blood to the perimeter, to the phalanges, the fingers and toes, and it will work backwards up until the organs and backwards up until the brain. So when you get hypothermia, you technically are starving the bloodstream, blood flow from your appendages, and your body's as a defense mechanism, only taking care of the things that are vital for life. That's why people that climb Mount Everest have black fingers and they get frostbitten and they fall off.
Ooh.
It's because their body says, this is too costly.
Yeah.
I'm okay with losing fingers and toes and arms and legs before I lose internal organs. It's going to do that.
That makes sense.
So when you get out of the cold plunge, you have a rush feeling because the blood is now going back to make you real tingling. Probably feels really good, almost euphoric. But that's just because you're fucking around with the defense mechanism in the body.
Yeah.
It's literally built to do that.
Yeah.
So
You're just exercising the system.
yes.
Okay.
So it gets into, it helps build or burn brown fat and then increases lean body mass and metabolism. Here's why that happens. And this is really frustrating to me. It forces your body to shiver, which is contract muscle groups quickly over time to generate heat so you won't fucking die, meaning you are doing these little tiny micro reps for 2 or 3 minutes at a time. You're just fucking training your body. Just go to the gym and work out without having all that stress on everything and heightened cortisol levels and adrenaline levels. Just go to the gym, work out. You don't need to force your body into panic mode to quote unquote burn brown fat. You just hyperextended the stress over your whole body to where it goes, oh my God, I'm going to die, seizes up, tenses up real tight, and tries to heat itself up. It's just burning a ton of fucking calories really, really, really fast. And then when you get out of the hot or cold plunge, you're still not warm right away. Your body stays in that thermogenic hyper mode, and it just burns a ton of calories. You're just cheating the system. It's like sitting in a sauna. You sweat. You don't sweat for any other reason than your body trying to cool itself off.
Yeah.
So if it's trying to cool itself off and you keep applying heat, eventually you'll run out of the ability to cool itself off and you'll have a heat stroke. You sit in a cold plunge for too long, you'll get hypothermia. Mm-hmm. It's just fucking with the hot and cold system. I do not think whatsoever that cold plunges are the key to fat loss. Strictly because some of the fattest motherfuckers live in the north continents of America, north regions of America. They're in cold fucking weather all the fucking time. So if cold released brown fats and allowed you to lose weight on a ridiculously high level, then fucking nobody that lived in the north would be fat.
Yeah.
Because they're in it for 7 months out of the year. And if you go to Canada, it's like fucking -70. They're fat.
Is there anybody who could benefit from cold plunges?
I think everybody could benefit from it. I don't think the benefit is as drastic as people like to say it is.
Uh-huh.
It's not the key to anything.
Yeah.
Not whatsoever the key to anything. The key to everything is movement and consistency, but you can actually restrict blood flow to a point that you start getting kidney stones because your kidneys won't operate correctly. They will not filter the dirt essentially out of your system, and they'll shut down. So I don't think it's super beneficial all the time. I think, like we said earlier, if you live in a very soft world where you don't really have much stress in your life, it's probably a good idea to do it once or twice a week.
Okay.
Just so you're better at stressful things.
Okay. So is it hot or not?
That is a 50-50.
All right.
I think it is a lukewarm.
All right. We've got a room temp.
That is. Yes.
All right. There you have it.
Boom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kiley.
Welcome to the 1%, where small shifts create big wins.
We're redefining resilience for high performers, 1% at a time, so you can keep advancing, no matter what.
So, welcome back to the 1%. Good to have you back, Kiley.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Back from the warehouse that you live in now, downtown.
I know. Spend a lot of time downtown now.
Well, I'm alone in this building. Just me and all these clients.
Luckily we've got some good people for you to hang out with.
For sure. For sure. All right, so today we're going to talk about rest and recovery. So there's some really neat things I looked up online about this, and through the lens of what I've been a part of in my life with strength training and whatnot, I've got my head wrapped around what I think rest and recovery means. What do you think rest and recovery means?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is sleep.
Okay.
And probably off days from training in the gym. But I would take it a step further and also think about mental rest in recovery. So like meditation, regulating your nervous system. So I think you could think of it as like physical rest and mental rest in two categories is kind of how I look at it.
So what's the difference between rest and recovery?
I think of rest as you're off. Like rest would be getting enough sleep. Recovery, I would think of as like sitting in the sauna and allowing heat to help your muscles relax, or meditating to let your brain relax would be recovery work in my mind. I don't know if that's right or not.
Well, they're so ambiguous. I don't really think there's a right or wrong, but just because I like definitions, the definition of rest is cease work or movement in order to relax, refresh oneself, or recover strength.
That tracks.
The definition of recovery is return to a normal state of health, mind, or strength. Normal state of health, normal state of mind, normal state of strength. So it's like recovery is the what and rest is the how to.
Okay.
So rest is the action of ceasing work or movement in order to relax, refresh oneself, or recover strength.
Okay.
So I think that it's kind of ambiguous. Like it doesn't really matter.
Well, and I also would imagine, I mean, like, you get injured, right? And you have to rest and recover.
Yeah. So I think that we tend to, when we talk about recovery, we tend to think of zero movement, but that's just not true. So the phrase active recovery is very important to work into your life because you have to understand movement is health, motion's lotion. So we're going to go through a couple different things when I Googled how to find rest and recovery or how to acquire rest and recovery. Give me 4 things, which I thought were really neat. First one would be prioritize sleep.
Yeah.
The second one is active recovery. Walking, cycling, swimming, foam rolling, and yoga.
Yeah.
None of those are sit on the couch and watch Netflix. None of those are sit in a chair and do nothing. None of those are absence of movement, right?
So we've been doing this all wrong, is what you're saying?
Well, no. I mean, I still do loads of active recovery, but
normal folk
do because we confuse rest with recovery.
Yeah.
So recovery is ample blood flow to increase nutrient density to acquire the state of recovery. If you do not move, you can't recover. It's not a maximum state of recovery.
Well, and I think of when I broke my hand and when I broke my wrist, so 2 different injuries, but both times as part of my recovery, I was working out and using my hands to do normal activities, but just taking it maybe slower or being much more aware. And then like in workouts, I would still carry weights with my injured hand, but I would do it with my cast on so that it was protected from moving in a direction that it's not supposed to yet. So I think of it as like an active recovery type thing, because what I found was when I broke my hand and I healed it in 3 weeks, which was absolutely insane. You saw the x-ray. I mean, those bones were...
Oh, yeah, totally snapped.
Totally.
Yeah. Broke.
Space between the broken bones on the x-ray. So they were completely separated. But because I was so active with my hand, it actually recovered faster.
Yeah. So I think that the misconception here is that rest and recovery means zero stress at all. Mm-hmm. So because we don't live in a world that will allow you to have zero stress, you will find it in some capacity. It's just if we're seeking rest at all costs, because that's how we're going to find recovery, we're just going to slowly fall into oblivion where every normal thing becomes hard. Because if we're trying to remove stress completely, it's just impossible. Mm-hmm. Your body needs stress to grow. It has to have it. It's a required thing in life to grow. I think it's the catalyst. That is the catalyst to growth. So there's a couple rules that came up. Oh, well, we got two more. So active recovery and then stress management. So prioritize sleep, active recovery, stress management, meditation, deep breathing, avoid excess screen time before bed.
Yeah.
That's what the Googler put on here. Meditation, deep breathing, and equally as important, avoid excess screen time before bed.
Yeah, we know that keeps you up. I think it goes back to mental recovery and physical recovery.
Yeah.
I mean, sleep is for your physical and mental recovery. Meditation is all mental. Helps you gain control of your thoughts so that you are the driver of your brain.
Your brain's a muscle.
Yeah.
You work it out. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do. It's tasking. It burns calories. It takes effort. So you got to give it time to relax.
Yep.
Give it time to repair. Then the fourth one was nutrition and hydration. What you put in your system equals what kind of output you're going to get, and how you hydrate your system is how the body communicates.
That's really interesting that falls under recovery.
Well, I think the more we get into like the reality of things and away from the soft version of I just want to feel good all the time because that's what I deserve, we realize that the actions you have massive repercussions, and you have to take care of yourself. You cannot search for pleasure in everything all the time in every way and get any kind of good outcomes. You have to acquire stress, and you have to be intentional. So,
well, and I think of it as like you drive a Lamborghini, you can't put unleaded fuel in it. You have to put premium fuel in a premium vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So you think about your nutrition as your premium fuel for your premium vehicle. If you want your vehicle to operate at an elite level, you have to feed it proper nutrition for recovery.
Yeah.
And I don't know that a lot of people make those correlations. Like healthy food isn't a punishment. It's actually a reward for your system.
Well, and it's access to a better system.
Right.
So the system will not be able to recover or perform at a high level with fake food inside of it.
Right.
So those are just facts of life. You don't drink enough water, you cannot communicate correctly. The neurons cannot communicate correctly in your system to everything. Every electrical impulse in the system is dumbed down.
Well, I mean, it's like
heightened sugar and all those other issues.
I mean, it's like adding olive oil to your premium fuel.
Yeah, it's a really bad decision. It doesn't mean the engine won't run.
Right.
It just won't run efficiently. And then eventually, because it's not running efficiently, things will start to slowly break.
Yep.
And then what do we say? Oh, it's just because I'm getting old. Absolutely not, pal. It's because you fed your system garbage for 30 fucking years. And then this is just how long it takes for that premium engine to start breaking down. Mm-hmm. So I asked it a couple rules, the old Googler, because I wanted to stray away from my opinion, because that'll come in here in just a minute. But
you don't have opinions.
This one I got some pretty strong opinions on. It gave me the 3-3-3 rule. 3 days of strength training, 3 days of cardio, and 3 days of active recovery. They said that is a great rule to acquire growth, change, and development while seeking recovery. So meaning You can't recover from things that aren't stressful. You don't need recovery if you don't have stress. So to make that very fucking clear, doing the laundry doesn't require a treat yourself, whatever the fuck. There's no stress involved in that. Mental, little, very little. Physical, almost none. You don't need recovery from that. So 3 days of strength training and 3 days of cardio, 6 days of training gives you access to 3 days of recovery, active recovery, to make sure you're running a healthy system.
So do you do like strength training one day, cardio the next day, and then a rest day? Like, do you alternate like that, or what's the configuration there?
So you got to get a little bit granular with this. It takes 24 to 48 hours to refill glycogen stores in your body for strength training. Strength training should be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday kind of thing. 3-day split throughout the week.
Okay.
If we're talking about the 3 rule, cardio takes intense cardio takes 12 hours to recover from. So essentially you can repair that day.
Okay.
You can do cardio every fucking day.
Okay.
Active recovery can happen on the cardio days.
Oh, okay.
So that's fine. It can happen on the strength training days. In fact, active recovery helps reduce DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. So you know how when you squat really heavy or do something intense in the gym, 2 days later is the worst?
Yeah.
2 days later is the worst because it takes that amount of time for your system to recoup and then start repairing.
That's really good to know. It all makes sense now.
So active recovery keeps blood flow amplified.
Yeah.
Blood carries nutrients. Nutrients carry the ability to repair. So if you stop the blood flow, you stop the ability to repair and cause more damage. It's harder to get the system repaired. So active recovery is literally just moving and making sure the blood gets to where it needs to go. You repair faster.
That's why I think my hand healed so much faster. It's because I was
100%.
actually moving it and getting blood flow to it.
Yeah. That's why the phrase motion is lotion
It's true.
is truth.
Yeah.
You don't move it, you fucking lose it.
Yeah, it's true.
So the body doesn't grow muscle mass arbitrarily. It will do nothing that's costly without a reason.
Yeah.
And gaining muscle and repairing muscle and changing the system, body composition wise, whatever you're trying to change the system for, will not happen arbitrarily. In fact, fat gain isn't an arbitrary function. It's a defense mechanism. I don't have enough nutrients, so I'm going to hold on to this food, even though it's shit, because I don't think I'm going to be able to eat, because clearly I'm not getting the nutrients that I need to operate correctly. So I'm going to hold to the stuff because I feel like we're in fight or flight mode. Clearly we don't have access to things that I need. So I'm going to hold it because we're in fight or flight mode. We're in scavenger mode right now. So it assumes you're in a fucking desert and all you can eat is something like a Big Mac to make it to where you need to go to find the food. So it holds it as stores to make sure you don't die. So we're eating a bunch of plastic-filled food and we're not moving. So our system is thinking, all right, well, I'm not headed anywhere. Clearly the food's not coming to me and all I have is this, so I'll hold it as fat because it's unutilizable. And high density in fat, high density in sugar. I mean, you can't do anything with it if you're not working out and expelling that energy. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But so here's where we get into my opinion, if you want to dive into that. I believe wholeheartedly.
Well, hold on. I didn't buckle up.
Oh, it's not really that intense.
Oh, okay. All right. Carry on.
It's the 1-for-1 rule. Every hour you spend in intense training, you need to match with some sort of active recovery. If I train 6 hours in the gym, I need to have 6 hours of active recovery. That is not sleep, sitting on the couch, or screen time. That does not count. That is not active recovery. I don't care if you're sitting in those, what are they, the Normatec boots or whatever, Normatec boots, just sitting
no
there,
idea.
the compression boots.
I don't know.
I don't count that as active recovery. Active recovery is moving your body for a reason.
Does this mean you're going to do cardio?
The walking is active recovery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I walk twice a day around the building.
Okay.
2 times around the building. It's 800 steps to go around the building twice.
Did you count all of them?
I did. It's more like 820.
Oh, this is what you're doing all by yourself now, huh?
I did it a long time ago. So that's why I follow the same path every time, because I know I'll get over 800 steps. Well, but it's active recovery. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you have to be intentional with those things. And then they become habits. And then you don't have to worry about what path you walk, because you've charted it, you've mapped it, you've counted the steps, you know exactly how to get where you need to go. You just repeat it.
Yeah.
Now, it did give me the 4 R's of recovery, the old Googler. Mm-hmm. Refuel, rehydrate, repair, and rest. I just kind of like beating a dead horse. Just move your body all the time.
Drink water.
Yeah. Drink water and prioritize sleep.
Yeah.
Don't get on your phone before you go to bed. Don't watch movies as you're trying to fall asleep. Just go to bed. You know, we use pink noise.
Yeah.
That's been exceptional.
Yeah.
But there's pink, white, brown, green. Mm-hmm. It's a bunch of different kind of noises. Blue noise, I think, too. Like,
yeah, depending on what your challenge with sleep is. Some noise is better to help you fall asleep faster. Some is better for deeper sleep. Just depends on your preference and flavor. But yeah, that's hugely beneficial from what we've experienced.
yeah. So I use this equation as train based on desired outcome. So whatever you want to do, you need to train at that intensity, and then you recover based on training. Mm-hmm. So I don't do recovery based on outcome, because it's like those two are too far removed. Mm-hmm. So I can't recover my way into a body composition change, but I can train my way into that. In order to maximize the training, I recover based on my training.
That makes sense.
So I think we just kind of get those skewed sometimes.
Yeah.
Going to the gym and sit in the sauna for 2 hours. Hey, I did recovery. I mean, yeah, you sat there for 2 hours in the heat. Like, yes, that's a thing. And yes, I think it's beneficial, but it's not a primary. It definitely isn't going to, it's not the make or break factor to get you where you want to go.
It's not the motion lotion.
It's not. Now, if you do push-ups and sit-ups inside of a sauna, I got a buddy that does that.
Yeah.
He's changed his body composition wildly because he's constantly moving. That has actually helped him recover better with the sauna than just sitting in the sauna. He feels better, sleeps better, workouts are better, body composition is changing faster. Well,
that's awesome.
Heck yeah. So that's rest and recovery.
All right.
Big results come from small, intentional actions.
And that's why we're taking on the 1% challenge, a simple, actionable step to get just a little bit better every day.
No excuses, just progress. Let's do it.
All right, so our 1% challenge
1% challenge
this week is to implement one recovery strategy this week.
Yeah, tell me about it. Tell us about it. I want to hear how you're recovering, what's going on, what modality you're implementing, and how it's working.
Yeah.
There's your 1% challenge. That's a wrap for today's episode of the 1%. If you're ready to take your resilience to the next level,
head to odysseyresilience.org to dive deeper into our work, access free resources, and learn how we help high performers redefine resilience.
Thanks for listening. Now go get 1% better.